Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I have been doing a lot of cleaning lately. This last weekend I did a really big deep clean of our whole apartment, and now I want to start organizing and going through and doing like a clutter clean where I just go through the things that I have and organize, clean out Marie Kondo style. So I think I'm gonna do that today, especially for my craft and bullet journal supplies. I haven't been bullet journaling as much as I would like to lately, so I want to get back into that for the summer. So I just want to go through those supplies and organize them, so hopefully it will motivate me to start bullet journaling again. Any other life updates? Let's see. Oh, I started reading Throne of Glass, and I read the first 2 books when I was in college, and I never continued with the series, but one of my coworkers was raving about it and telling me how I have to read the whole series. So I am currently reading Throne of Glass. I'm on The Assassin's Blade, about halfway through that, and I'm hoping to finish that by August to get through all of the books. I'm only planning on reading 1 book a month because I still have a lot of other books that I want to read, and so I'm currently reading Throne of Glass. Let me look at my Libby. I'm also reading The Muse of Maiden Lane by Mimi Matthews. I have been loving the Mimi Matthews universe. All of her books are kind of interconnected, but it's not like a series that you have to read in order. But characters that were in a different book appear in other books, and someone that's a side character could have their own book a few stories later. So yeah, that is pretty much what I have been reading lately. I keep my bullet journal supplies underneath my bed because I used to always bullet journal before sleeping. So that is why I keep them down here. But I also have just so many random notebooks and things of paper and just stuff under my bed that I have a pencil. I don't know why I have a pencil down here. So I also need to clean this out and figure out what is going on and organize this stuff. I love notebooks, and Erin Condren was having this sale for the Hello Kitty franchise, so all of their Hello Kitty notebooks were 50% off. So I picked up this purple one with cream Hello Kitty outlines, as well as this A5 notebook that has Hello Kitty on it. I really like the Erin Condren notebooks because the paper is really thick, and pen and marker doesn't bleed through. Then I've got my bullet journal notebook, and when was the last time I created a spread? Oh, it was for March, so not too long ago. Look how adorable these puffy Harry Potter stickers are. I haven't used any of them yet, but I want to use them somewhere where I can see them a lot because they just make me so happy every time I see them. I bought an external mic to try out because I feel like with my camera I have to sit so close to get good audio, and I want to be able to use my hands when I talk and sit a little further back. So we'll see how this goes, if the audio sounds all right. But I went to Barnes & Noble and I picked up a couple things. Believe it or not, this is the first book that I've bought this year. I have really been trying to use the library and reading on my Kindle with the Libby app, but I knew going into the year that there were going to be like 3 or 4 books that I knew for sure that I wanted to buy, and one of those was Release Me by Sarah Maas. So this came out just a few weeks ago, and I just really wanted the hardback edition, but specifically the Barnes & Noble special edition, because the pages are this beautiful gold color, and I just really wanted these to match. So picked up this one. I am so excited to continue reading about James's story. I think I might actually do like a reading vlog as part of this video and read this together with you guys, because I'm so excited. I feel like I need to like do a quick flip through, super fast reread of this one to refresh my memory on what happens. But yeah, we will read this together. What? We will read this together in this video. I do have to talk about some other books. I finished reading The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. And I mentioned earlier in this vlog that I am reading the Throne of Glass series, but what I did not mention is that I am trying to catch up on like all of Sarah J Maas's books before the next A Court of Thorns and Roses book comes out in like October, I think, which means that I have to read all of Throne of Glass, the second and third books in Crescent City, and the latest book of ACOTAR. And a lot of those books are like 800 plus pages each. I actually have like a reading schedule in the Notes app on my phone. So April, I finished The Assassin's Blade. I'm also rereading Crown of Midnight currently, and then I need to read Heir of Fire. May, I'm going to read Queen of Shadows. June is a tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. July, I need to read Kingdom of Ash. And then August is A Court of Silver Flames and Crescent City, A House of Sky and Breath. Both of those books are massive, so we'll see how it goes. And September, I'm reading Crescent City, A House of Flame and Shadow. So far, I'm doing all right. I'm almost finished with Crown of Midnight. I'm probably like 70 or 75% through. And then Heir of Fire, I think it's like an 18-hour audiobook, so it's got to be pretty chunky. But I think I can do it. We're going to the UK in just a couple weeks, and we have like a 10-hour flight. So I am planning on just like reading when I'm not sleeping on that flight, Heir of Fire. So is this quite ambitious? Maybe. But I'm also hoping that I've spaced out these books that I can continue to like mood read throughout the months, because I can never follow a TBR very well. But I'm really, really going to try with this, because I just feel like I need to be fully caught up before continuing ACOTAR. So that's where I'm at. I finished The Assassin's Blade, and I will admit that even though like I knew where the character was going to end up, because The Assassin's Blade is actually a prequel, but it was published after the first 2 books in the series. So it's all about like the character's backstory. So I had already read the first 2 books before reading the prequel, and so I knew like what happened, and I still ended up crying at the end of that book, and it still like ripped my heart out. And I feel like this is only the beginning, because we've got a long way to go for Throne of Glass. And so I hope my emotions can stay somewhat intact throughout this journey. So that is what I'm currently reading. And I'm going to finish Crown of Midnight before moving on to Release Me. I'm going to try to squeeze this book in before I start Heir of Fire. And I think it will be a fast read. I read Watch Me, I think in like one evening pretty much. So I think I can also read this one pretty quickly. but I do need to have a refresher for this, so I might need to skim through this really fast. The other thing I picked up from Barnes & Noble were just these click art pastel marker pens. I bought these for my bullet journal because I couldn't resist the colors. I just thought they were so pretty and definitely kind of my aesthetic. And I have been working on my bullet journal. I want to finish a few more things, so maybe I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. But first, I'm going to finish reading Crown of Midnight, and I will catch up with you guys later. I know I said that I was just going to skim through this book, but I sat down last night and picked it up and started rereading it, and I just got sucked in. And now I'm halfway through a full-on reread of Watch Me. I forgot how funny James is, so I downloaded the audiobook because I was like, might as well listen to it while I'm driving today. And the narrator that does James's voice, I swear he's done like so many audiobooks before because his voice sounds so familiar to me, but he does a good job at voicing James and making him sound really funny. So let's keep reading Watch Me before I move on to Release Me. I'm already, I want to say like halfway through, like on page 170 something. I wasn't planning on doing a full reread of this, but here we are. So I finished reading Watch Me, and I jumped right into Release Me, and I noticed when I took the dust jacket off that there is this gold quote on the book that is so pretty. It says, "Like a parachute pulled, something inside of me releases." And then I got thinking, is there something on the Watch Me book that I just like never took the dust jacket off of it and didn't see? So we are gonna look together to see if there's anything under this dust jacket, because I don't remember there being anything. And of course there is, that I just never saw. There's like, the whole cover is text, and it says, "In my dreams I am safe. I have a strong hand to hold, a door to lock against the dark, a trusted ear into which I whisper my fears. In my dreams I am patient and kind. I have room in my heart for more pain than my own. I am not afraid to smile at strangers. I have never witnessed death in my dreams." I am not sure if these are only on like the special edition books, but yeah, that's kind of fun that I didn't notice. Another fun thing with these books is that on the inside cover of Watch Me are a bunch of gummy bears, and then on the inside of Release Me are marshmallows, so that's kind of fun. But anyway, I am gonna keep reading this. I think I can finish it. I have like, I don't know, maybe 50 pages left, I'm not sure. I've really been taking my time with this because it's just been so fun to go back into the Shatter Me world, and Warner and Juliet are in this book. They're in both books. And although they're not like in it a lot, you still get to see some of their like small interactions, and it's just fun to kind of watch them. It's been 10 years since Shatter Me, so I really like that they're in this book as well. I'm gonna go read and catch up with you guys later once I've finished. Along with my goal to read more books from the library and to use Libby more often, I also set a goal to stay off social media. And I have never read so many books so quickly before. It's only April, and I'm already 20-something books into the year, which is just crazy to me. But I finished reading Release Me, and I thought it was kind of funny that James, the main character, I think he's like 21 in this book, and he acts more like a teenager with some of his decisions than the characters in the first series when they're like actually teenagers. I think the first series characters are anywhere between 17 to 19 years old. And yeah, I just felt like James acted a bit more childish, which I I'm not complaining about. I thought it was like quite funny to read, but I just found it interesting that he was a lot more immature in some ways. But one thing that I feel like Tahara Mafi does such a good job with is tension and building that with like the romance of her books, because these characters, like, nothing really happens between them in this book, but the tension is so palpable and just like the yearning. And I love that with relationships in books. Like, I want to feel that yearning. I want that tension to like last as long as possible. I just feel like the way that Tahara Mafi phrases sentences and writes is so poetic, but at the same time, you can read a sentence that's like so profound, and then in the next sentence, another character is making a joke, and it doesn't feel jarring in any way. Like, she sews those scenes together so well. But yeah, thank you for spending this week with me, reading with me. We got a lot of reading done, and I'm excited to jump back into Throne of Glass now with Heir of Fire. And hopefully I don't cry too much in that series, but I probably will. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.